Yes.
Well, won't he take it any further?
No, he won't, I'm afraid.
Why not?
Well, he's been made redundant as well.
Next on Thames, we continue the history of the Spanish Civil War.
Happy with your wash?
Naturally.
What about close-up?
Well, you wouldn't call it spotless, but you can't shift stains like chocolate sauce without boiling. And I don't boil wash my best tablecloth.
You need Ariel Automatic. It washes close-up clean even when you don't boil wash.
On chocolate? Show me.
Okay, let's take a really low temperature and watch how Ariel's biological formula lifts out the dirt and stains that non-biological powders leave behind.
Gracious, those marks have disappeared. Look, Bill's T-shirt, even Bobby's bib. All the things I can't boil are so much cleaner.
Ariel washes close-up clean even without the boil wash.
Take a fresh look, make a fresh look. Boots is making news. Spring and summer, chairs and sunshades, outdoor cooking news. Springtime fashions under fives, Boots is baby news. Beachwear, swimsuits, fashion shades, Boots is sunshine news. Latest cameras, talking cameras, Boots has photo news. Get a charge card, instant credit, look round Boots for news. It's the best for new ideas.
Do you know which is the world's best-selling electronic typewriter? That's right. Do you know that an Olivetti can center headings, embolden, reverse out, memorize pages of information, grow into a word processor, and communicate with other typewriters over thousands of miles? So the letter you type in London will type itself in New York. You didn't know all this? Well, now you know. Make sure everyone else in your company knows. Phone Olivetti on 200 0200.
That's the number 6 sound this weekend climbing. The time now is 10 minutes to 7.
Air Canada's good old Canadian hospitality makes flights so good you won't want to get off.
See the face you love light up with Terry's Paul Gold.
The finest chocolate assortment you can give by Terry's of York.
See the face you love light up with Terry's Paul Gold.
George is decorating.
That's fine. Get stuck in.
But he needs a cup of quick brew. This money-saving size makes good sense. And a lovely cup of tea. It's nice.
It's lovely.
Quick brew makes a lovely cup of tea.
Now, another program in the series on the Spanish Civil War. This week's edition deals with the battleground for idealists.
Well,
Shaping the future in a push-button world. A British company that leads the world in fiber optic communications, whose two-way public information service is the first of its kind in the world. A company that links radio and television into our homes, whose integrated telephone network gives direct dialing to a bigger percentage of callers than is offered by any other country, putting you and the future in touch. British Telecom, the power behind the button.
From Fiat comes a new front runner, the Fiat Regatta. Power, elegance, economy. A front-wheel drive car that gives you the refinement, comfort, space, and equipment of a large saloon at a size that makes perfect sense. The luxury family saloon that's designed to perform. Economy, elegance, power. The Fiat expertise that created 1984's Car of the Year has now created a new frontrunner, the Fiat Regatta.
Do you know which is the world's best-selling electronic typewriter? That's right. Do you know that an Olivetti can center headings, embolden, reverse out, memorize pages of information, grow into a word processor, and communicate with other typewriters over thousands of miles? So the letter you type in London will type itself in New York. You didn't know all this? Well, now you know. Make sure everyone else in your company knows. Phone Olivetti on 200 0200.
That's the number 6 sound this weekend climbing. The time now is 10 minutes to 7.
Air Canada's good old Canadian hospitality makes flights so good you won't want to get off.
Some fine paintings in there you're going to enjoy. There's just 1 hour in this lovely old house, please, ladies and gentlemen. And that'll give me time to have a Mars. Great thing to have with you. They always taste so good.
It's the goodness of milk, sugar, glucose, and thick chocolate in a Mars that helps you work, rest, and play.
And Mars today helps you work, rest, and play.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Bird. All owls are fairly ferocious, and the great grey owl certainly can be. So as part of the standard equipment of looking for owls' nests, you need this.
If you have any comments on BBC television programmes, please write to Points of View, BBC Television, London, W12 8QT.
For the 4077's Colonel Potter, there's a suspected loss of confidence in MASH on BBC Two shortly. Here on 1 in 25 minutes, a potential loss of life brings Remington Steele onto the case of a man who suspects he's about to be murdered. Our courageous firm require hearts of steel at 9:25. But now on BBC One, the 9 o'clock news from John Humphreys.
Under pressure over Cheltenham calls for Sir Geoffrey's resignation. Neil Kinnock's charge tonight, it's a government madhouse. Mrs. Thatcher says in Hungary there's an urgent need for arms talks. Prince Philip in Ulster, the Irish government protests. And Challenger in the clear, a perfect launch from Cape Canaveral. Good evening. More than a week after the announcement of a union ban at the Spice Centre, the row refuses to go away. And it's the Foreign Secretary, Sir Geoffrey Howe, who's under the greatest pressure tonight. In the Commons, he was accused of an unforgivable level of incompetence because of confusion over what happens to trade union members who refuse to leave their unions and won't take another job. Treasury Minister Barney Hayhoe had said yesterday they'd get no redundancy payments. Sir Geoffrey said on Thames Television last night they would. Today he claimed he'd been asked a misleading question. And he said Thames Television had apologised. They said, we haven't been asked for an apology and we haven't given one. Alan Williams, Labour's shadow civil service minister, said Sir Geoffrey had given a brazen, unrepentant response. And Neil Kinnock accused him of despotism. Tonight, the shadow Foreign Secretary, Dennis Healey, joined in the attack.
I think to have a bumbling incompetent in charge of our nation's security and foreign policy is a very dangerous thing. I hope he'll reflect on the shabby and ludicrous performance which he's put on over the last week and consider whether...
Some senior Conservatives aren't underestimating the damage done to the government by what they see as the mishandling of the GCHQ issue, and certainly the events of the past 24 hours won't have reassured them. In the Commons today, Sir Geoffrey Howe, with Mr Barney Hayhoe by his side, received a rough, sometimes contemptuous reception from the opposition benches. And Mr Alan Williams, from Labour's front bench, described the Foreign Secretary's performance as brazen and incompetent.
He's revealed a level of incompetence that would be unforgivable in the greenest and newest of parliamentary secretaries, and that's particularly unforgivable in a man of his legal distinction when one considers the consequences on the lives of thousands of civil servants who've committed no offence other than to have the misfortune to be employed in the department of which the Right Honourable Gentleman is the head.
Sir Geoffrey tried again to remove any doubts about what will happen to GCHQ staff who refuse the government's terms.
If, in fact, having had a suitable alternative job offered to them, away from their original place of employment, if that's what they choose, they refuse to take that job, then, as was made perfectly clear in the notice issued to the staff on the 25th of January, if they refuse to accept an alternative posting, then they will have their employment terminated.
No country, apart from Switzerland, has a programme of protection to match that of Sweden. Most, like Britain, with much larger populations, could simply not afford it. Our best hope must be what the superpowers can achieve at Geneva. Only there, perhaps, can the clouds of war which threaten all our futures be dispelled.
Sketchly are the cleaning experts who care about your clothes. So much so, we've developed Master Finish. It's unique to Sketchly, just like the improvement it makes to the feel of your clothes. Now you not only look good, you feel good. Good and ready to make an entrance.
Jim's the name, I fit exhausts, I fix them quick and how. People come from near and far, I think I hear one now. Call what a blooming racket. Would you kindly step this way? I'll have a look at what's gone wrong. Oh dear, I say. That new exhaust Jim's fitting is as fine as you can buy. And what is more, it's guaranteed. That's just one reason why.
You can't get better than a quick fit fitter. You can't get better than a quick fit fitter. You can't get better than a quick fit fitter.
Jim's the boy to trust.
Poor Gran. I'd better make the quick brew.
Quick Brew's flavour perforations really bring out all the rich taste of the tea.
Lovely. That's better. Dad, the weather's getting worse.
Don't worry, son. It's just a storm in a teacup.
Quick Brew brews a smashing cup of tea.
From Allied Lyons, a great British company.
The large wine glass is the latest in the Esso glass collection. It matches all the other Esso glasses and it's yours for 3 vouchers. 1 voucher with every £5 worth of fuel you buy. And there's a matching decanter for 40 vouchers as well. Call where you see this sign.
Phone 0800 10 0800 free of charge for details of Abbey National's AbbeyLink service. AbbeyLink, automatically Abbey.
The Channel 4 Orchestra proudly presents... Safari Symphony, performed for you by the orchestra this Thursday at 9. And there's comedy now on 4 with Kate and Ali.
Wait a minute, money. That's a bottle cap.
When a yogurt tastes of pure fruit, you can tell it's Nouvelle. Chambourcy Nouvelle. When there's no starch, no added colors, no preservatives, and no artificial flavors, you can tell it's Nouvelle. When it's not quite like any other yogurt.
You can tell it's Nouvelle.
The pure fruit taste from Chambourcy, you can tell it's Nouvelle.
Such natural colour, such superb conditioning. No wonder more women choose one hair colourant above any other. Nice and easy, from Clairol.
The sun shines east, the sun shines west. I know where the sun shines best. Mammy, my little mammy, my heartstrings are tangled around. Well, Mammy, I'm a-coming. Sorry that I made you wait. I'm a-coming. Hope and trust that I'm not late. Mammy, my little mammy, I'd walk a million miles for one of your smiles, my
Where can you meet 3 gorgeous ladies from the 20s? See what Jack Lemmon looked like as a baby. Where can you find out why Al Jolson was both loved and hated? Read how One Kiss panicked Hollywood and come for a walkabout in historic Rye. Where can you learn about Dickie Henderson's legacy of love and book a dream holiday on a voyage to paradise? See what's coming on ITV and Channel 4 and enjoy every moment doing it. Where else?
And that's all we have for you this Sunday night, with the time now at 17 minutes to 1. We open up again at 1:45 tomorrow afternoon with Channel 4 Racing from Kempton, followed by that Al Jolson musical Wonderbar at 3:15. But for now, from all of us here at Channel 4, this is Linda Thomas wishing you a safe and peaceful night. Good night.
Well, BBC One begins its lavish new series which charts the birth of Christianity and the decline of the Roman Empire in a minute, with James Mason leading an impressive cast in AD Anno Domini. Here on 2 in a moment, something completely different with an Amazon adventure. Tonight's Screen 2 presentation is Hard Travelling, starring Tom Bell and Suzanne Burton.
Welcome to Disney Time with Sarah and myself.
You can see that here we are in the costume department of the BBC, and we're all dressed up to give you a clue to the first film. Now, come on, Mike, what do I look like?
Dumbo?
No.
Goofy?
No, come on.
Pluto?
Yes. No.
Minnie Mouse?
No. Come on. What?
A lady?
Yes. And the tramp.
And the tramp. I put my good clothes on as well.
Did you?
So, the first bit we're going to see is Lady and the Tramp. This is the bit where the tramp takes the lady to the zoo to try and get her hat bitten off, to try and get her muzzle bitten off.
Whoa!
That's why the lady is the tramp. Well, as you may well know, it's the 60th anniversary of the Walt Disney Studios this year, and we thought we'd do something very special. No, yours is coming up later. Something very special to commemorate it, and something very Christmassy, which features Mickey here and all his friends.
It's Mickey's first film in 30 years, and it's very Christmassy because it's called Mickey's Christmas Carol.
And it's actually based on Charles Dickens' original Christmas Carol and features, well, the whole gang here.
That's right. The scene that we're going to show you is when the spirit of Christmas present takes old Scrooge to the home of the clerk Bob Cratchit to see for the first time his son, Tiny Tim. In Walt Disney's The Sleeping Beauty, there was a wicked witch called Maleficent, and in it she cast a wicked spell on the beautiful young Princess Aurora. I wonder if you can remember what it was.
You know, in the old days, they used to give you tennis rackets to walk on. So cheap these days. Actually, this is ideal for our next film, which is all about the Arctic. It's called Never Cry Wolf, and it's about a biologist who goes to the Arctic to see whether wolves are actually destroying the caribou or not. It's full of comedy, excitement, some fabulous photography, and the occasional... "Arrgh!" That was a wolf, by the way.
Brand new film coming up for you now called Winnie the Pooh and a Day for Eeyore. And any minute now, Mr. Mike Reed should be coming up in the right costume for...
I've done it. I've done it.
That doesn't look like anything like Winnie the Pooh.
This is Russ Abbott doing an impression of Eric Morecambe, doing an impression of Pooh Bear as a Viking.
Well, he doesn't think he looks anything like him.
Oh, I've got another one. Ah, Tommy Pooh Bear.
That's all very well, but what about Eeyore? I mean, it's Winnie the Pooh and a Day for Eeyore.
Oh, that's easy. That's easy, that one.
What?
Eeyore.
Doesn't look anything like Eeyore.
Oh, but I look like an ass, though, don't I?
I love Little Tigger. It reminds me of me, actually, all bouncy and scatterbrained. I've just finished presenting a series of programmes on BBC Two called Eureka, which was all about inventors and their inventions. In fact, here's the Radio Times billing for the very first programme. And in it, there was a character called John Joseph Merlin. Now, by a remarkable coincidence, a character in our next film is also called Merlin, Merlin the Magician. Now, he invented all sorts of things, including a magical way of doing the washing up. And the film was called,
The film was called The Sword and the Stone.
Hey, we're always doing things about snow, aren't we? That's why I've got the parasol. You know, there's an American actor who played lots of parts. He played in The Love Bug, in That Darn Cat, in The Ugly Dachshund. His name is Dean Jones, and he also co-stars in a film called The Snowball Express, in which he inherits a hotel, and that means trouble, especially when he gets out on the ski slopes.
Now we'd like to present a very special edition of Pop Quiz.
And the first question is for Baloo, who was the star of the very first sound cartoon ever produced by Walt Disney and called... You're not looking, are you? And called Steamboat Willie. That's right. Yes, Mickey Mouse. I think I'm going to make a mistake for a minute there. Absolutely right. Next question for you, Mickey. Who sang Bare Necessities in the film Jungle Book? Who sang Bare Necessities in the film Jungle Book? Ah, a Baloo clue. Yes, absolutely right. Of course, the answer is Baloo, so 1 point each there.
Well done, Baloo.
Sarah, let's see if you can do as well. One for
Right.
you. What other animals were there in the Jungle Book?
Now there was Shere Khan, there was Bagheera, there were the 4 vultures. Now, who was that other? I know, reminds me of you.
What's that?
There was the monkey, King of the Jungle.
And the King of the Swingers.
That's right, and of course there was Baloo, my favourite.
Oh,
character
that's
of all.
right.
Yeah.
And do you also, for a bonus point, know the title of the song sung by Kaa, the snake?
Trust in me. There was that, wasn't it? Oh.
It's my impression of Kaa the snake. Oh, right. I thought that was a wonderful rendition. An extra point for
It was
that, I
good,
think.
wasn't it? Yeah. Bonus point for me.
Right, and here is the Jungle Book. I'd like you to watch closely, and I'll be asking you questions afterwards. I still can't do that.
It's better, isn't it, than
Yeah.
yours?
Donald Duck's great, isn't he?
Walt Disney made literally hundreds of short cartoons, and we thought we'd like to end with one. The trouble is, which one do we choose? So I wrote them all out on bits of paper. Took me hours, I hasten to add. Put them inside the hat, and I'm going to ask Mike to pick one out. That's the one.
Ah, purely at random, it's, well, it's a short one. Oh, look, it's my favourite.
Well, that's all we've got time for this Disney time.
Yeah, we've had a great time, thanks to Mickey and Baloo and all our friends.
Yeah, and hope you have too. And we'll be seeing you in Aladdin, won't we?
That's right, and next week on Saturday Superstore. Have a great Christmas.
Bye.
Sarah Green's now appearing in Dick Whittington at the Richmond Theatre.
An Anglo-Swedish competition on ice is presented in the Holiday Tuesday edition of It's a Christmas Knockout from Aviemore in Scotland.
That individuals of a democratic society can only barely comprehend. I do not believe, therefore, that the local commanders on the ground Men who have already suffered quite enough should be punished for not fully comprehending the nature of today's terrorist threat. If there is to be blame, it properly rests here in this office and with this president. And I accept responsibility for the bad as well as the good.
American Marines in Beirut went on maximum alert again this afternoon when heavy artillery shells fell near their base at the airport. They don't know if they were the target or if they'd been caught in crossfire between Lebanese troops and Shiite Muslims fighting for control of the Shatila camp. No American casualties were reported. A member of the British peacekeeping force was slightly injured today, cut on the head by debris from an explosion in the port area of Beirut. One person has died and 3 were injured in a gas explosion in Paris. The blast in the early hours wrecked a 4-story house and ripped apart the upper floors of the building next door. 1 woman was found dead and 2 others were rescued. Then sniffer dogs and rescuers went in to look for people buried in the rubble. 3 were found, 1 seriously injured. The other 2 are suffering from shock. Now sport, and another busy day for soccer fans. First, a full roundup of the classified results with our sports correspondent Jeremy Thompson.
Cannon League Division 1, Arsenal 1, Birmingham 1, Aston Villa 0, Tottenham 0, Liverpool 2, Leicester 2, Luton 0, West Ham 1, Manchester United 3, Notts County 3, Norwich 0, Ipswich 0, Southampton 1, Watford 0, Sunderland 3, West Brom 0, Wolves 3, Everton 0. Division 2, Brighton 1, Fulham 1, Carlisle 3, Newcastle 1, Charlton 1, Crystal Palace 0, Chelsea 2, Portsmouth 2, Derby 2, Cardiff 3, Huddersfield 1, Manchester City 3, Oldham 3, Leeds 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Middlesbrough 2, Swansea 0, Shrewsbury 2, Division 3, Bolton 1, Oxford 0, Bradford City 6, Wigan 2. Bristol Rovers against Gillingham is an evening match. Exeter 1, Brentford 2, Newport 2, Plymouth 0, Orient 2, Bournemouth 0, Port Vale 2, Sheffield United 0, Rotherham 0, Hull 1, Scunthorpe 1, Preston 5, Southend 2, Lincoln 0, Walsall 1, Burnley 1, Wimbledon 4, Millwall 3. Division 4, Blackpool 1, Hartlepool 0, Chester 0, Mansfield 4, Chesterfield 1, Bury 5, Colchester 4, Aldershot 1, Darlington 1, Doncaster 2, Northampton 2, Peterborough 1, Reading 2, Torquay 2, Rochdale 1, Halifax 1. The Stockport against Hereford match is an evening kick-off. Swindon 0, Wrexham 1, York 1, Tranmere 1. The Scottish Premier Division, Celtic 1, Dundee United 1, Dundee 0, St Johnstone 1, Hibernian 0, Rangers 2, and finally Division 1, Airdrie 1, Meadowbank 2. And there were 2 extraordinary comebacks in the First Division. Liverpool, 2 down at home to lowly Leicester, needed goals by Sammy Lee and Ian Rush to salvage a 2-2 draw, leaving them on top. Manchester United 3-1 up against Notts County looked to have the game won, but Justin Fashanu put 2 past them in the second half to stop United going ahead of Liverpool, who still lead the table by 3 points. Behind those 2, Southampton won to go third, and West Ham beat Luton, pushing them into 5th place. Elsewhere in the First Division, Charlie Nicholas's happy Christmas continued. He scored his first goal at Highbury after 1,157 playing minutes with the club, but it took a penalty to do it. In the Second Division, Chelsea could have gone top if Kerry Dixon hadn't had a disastrous day. Dixon scored 1 goal against Portsmouth, then missed 2 penalties and gave away a third as his team were held to a 2-2 draw. It left Sheffield Wednesday 2 points clear despite their second defeat in 2 days. Manchester City beat Huddersfield to overtake Newcastle, who lost at Carlisle. Well, Ian Botham played again for Scunthorpe United and once more against the wishes of the cricket bosses. Tonight, though, he must be wishing he hadn't bothered. Botham was booked. He gave away his first goal as his team were thrashed 5-1 by Preston North End.
That's the news so far tonight. Our late news is at 8:45. See you then.
Now, here's the weather news for the Thames area. Tonight is going to be mostly cloudy and dry and very mild. Minimum temperatures 10 centigrade, 50 Fahrenheit. Tomorrow, same story really. Cloudy, dry, very mild. Maximum temperatures 12 centigrade, 54 Fahrenheit. The winds will be mainly southwesterly, moderate or fresh, perhaps strong for a time. Now, our next programme is the classic story of mole, rat, badger and toad. It's The Wind in the Willows.
K-Tel introduced new double-sided computer games. When you've escaped the horrors of Dracula's tomb, flip over and try your skill in It's Only Rock and Roll. K-Tel double-sided computer games. Choose from these 3 K-Tel double-siders for the Sinclair ZX Spectrum, or these 2 for the Commodore VIC-20. K-Tel double-sided computer games. For £6.95, you'll get twice the fun with 2 games on 1.
RCA presents Bucks Fizz Greatest Hits. 10 top hits and more on one great album, and the chance to win a Mini.
Now, Thames presents a full-length adaptation from Cosgrove Hall of Kenneth Grahame's immortal story, The Wind in the Willows.
To take on titchy breakfasts, you've got to keep neat. Right, lads?
Right, okay. That's why we've built this, the Weetabix assault course.
Now, you show me a titchy breakfast that could do this.
And still sing. You make it neat, wheat, mate.
If you know what's good for you.
The Weetabix.
Okay.
Motorists, for a really fun day out, bring your family to central London. Mingle with the crowds.
Look at all the latest lines.
Meet Londoners as they really are.
Of course, you could always settle for a tube cheap day return. Travel after 10 a.m. weekdays or any time at weekends and save up to a third.
Get a ticket that could entitle you to a fabulous accessory for your car. Yes, you'll have so much fun, you won't be able to drag yourself away.
The Carpetland jackpot sale is now on. You can save pounds on lots of Carpetland's quality carpets, like 25% off Geneva Sculptured Pile, 35% off Portland Place Axminster, and 55% off Fernley Floral Broadloom, plus up to 75% off many offcuts and remnants. Don't miss your share of the jackpot. So hurry along to your nearest Carpetland Carpet Centre. The jackpot sale won't last forever.
There are some great English houses open to the public over the holiday period. The Newcomb, the Thornbury, indeed all Waite's award-winning homes are open every day. For their addresses, look in these or selected local papers, or phone 935-6716.
Now, I see lots of windows every single day. And good replacement windows are made the cold-chilled way. The cold-chilled range is trouble-free, especially white new PVC. It's the quality I can see when I'm cleaning windows. When you see the trouble they take and the difference cold-chilled made. For goodness sake, and no mistake, choose cold-chilled for your windows. Give cold-chilled a ring for a free brochure. Good, eh?
Walt Disney's The Jungle Book. The Jungle Book plus Mickey's Christmas Carol at a cinema near you now.
Crazy.
Just 2.5 hours servicing on a Citroen VX is enough to last a full 12,000 miles. The Citroen VX. Loves driving, hates garages.
No matter how you cut it, your hair needs Vidal Sassoon. Shampoo to cleanse. Protein remoisturizer to condition. Finishing rinse to seal and protect. 3 simple steps to keep your hair shining, manageable, healthy looking. No matter how you cut it. Because if you don't look good, we don't look good.
The sky's the limit at the Times Furnishing Sale. With hundreds of savings and no deposit interest-free credit. The Times Furnishing Sale, now on.
Where can you lay hands on the most affordable leather suites in town? At World of Leather, where until the 4th of February, our suites are even more affordable than usual. We're clearing many showroom models, and we've reduced our new reclining suites. Interest-free credit makes everything more tempting. Take a long look at World of Leather's New Year offers. We're on the North Circular near Hanger Lane Gyratory System, Morden Road near South Wimbledon Tube, and Clifton's Roundabout junction of the South Circular and the A20.
The world's most spectacular ice extravaganza. Holiday on Ice 84 comes to Wembley Arena on the 5th of January until the 26th of February. Take the whole family. There are shows daily, including Sunday, and special reductions for children and senior citizens. You can even pay by credit card. Ring Wembley box office on 01902 1234 until 9 p.m. and enjoy our winter holiday on ice.
There's a great deal I can take for my bad cold. This for a blocked nose, plus any of these for aches, pains, and fever, plus an antihistamine for my runny eyes and nose. This for my cough. Instead, I made a real discovery. New Comtrix. A tablet that relieves cold symptoms, even coughs, all in one. Comtrix, the all-in-one cold reliever.
The knockdown price sale. Many knockdown sale prices on new gas fires and cookers. At your gas showroom now.
Don't waste costly heat. Reflector foam behind your radiators cuts heat loss through your walls and takes only minutes to fit. Reflector foam for the British winter.
Here's a few of our landlords, all popular fellas with popular pubs. But apart from being Sharrington landlords, what do they all have in common that makes their pub so popular? Obviously, it's the beer. Real ale. Sharrington IPA. Not just real ale, but the best-selling real ale around London.
Alders, 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 all that a great store should be. See?
The Great Alders sale has just started. Comfort yourself with this Chiltern 3-piece suite, only £475. View this sharp video, it's only £399. Lay out only £199 for this Slumberland double divan. And roll up for carpet bargains like this Drury Lane broadloom, £10.99 a square yard. With interest-free credit and free delivery, the Great Alders sale just started and open all day Bank Holiday Monday at...
Alders, 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 all that a great store should be. See?
Now, that's what I call music. 30 tracks with 11 number ones. From Culture Club, Duran Duran, UB40, Kajagoogoo, Paul Young, Phil Collins, Tina Turner, Tracy Ullman, Genesis and Madness. Get Now Now, a double album or cassette in record departments of Woolworth, Tesco, Martin. Now, that's what I call music.
Just 2.5 hours servicing on a Citroen VX is enough to last a full 12,000 miles. The Citroen VX. Loves driving, hates garages.
There are some great English houses open to the public over the holiday period. The Newcomb, the Thornbury, indeed all Waite's award-winning homes are open every day. For their addresses, look in these or selected local papers, or phone 935 6716.
The new TV Times gathers the flavour of the British Raj as Channel 4 journeys next Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday to the magnificent splendour of the Far Pavilions. A romantic saga starring Rossano Brazzi, Christopher Lee, Sir John Gielgud, Omar Sharif, Robert Hardy, with Ben Cross as a young British Army officer torn between two vastly different cultures.
Do you not know me, Julie?
And Amy Irving as Princess Anjali.
What do you mean? Do you not recognize your Ashok?
There's an article on the stars from the Far Pavilions, who also feature on the cover of the new TV Times.
Now on 4 to introduce a magical journey to the North Pole and beyond in the company of the Snowman. Here's David Bowie.
This attic's full of memories for me. We spent all our summers by the seaside. And in winter, at home, by the fire. Frost on the window. And snow. Snowballs and making snowmen. One winter I made a really big snowman.